welcome to the BioEduBit channel. In this video we are going to see the blood. In blood we are going to see plasma and RBC. We have made different parts of this blood chapter, plasma and RBC in detail on BioEduBit channel. Myself Dr. Sunil Patil. Then let's move to the blood. Blood is fluid connective tissue. Blood is the most commonly used body fluid by most of the higher organism, including human, for this purpose. Another body fluid, lymph, also helps in the transport of certain substances. Here we are going to see the blood. In blood we are going to see plasma and the red cells, that is erythrocytes, in detail. So the blood is the special connective tissue consisting of fluid matrix, plasma and foam elements. The plasma is straw colored viscous fluid. Nearly 55% of the blood is the plasma, remaining is the foam elements. We are going to see in detail. If we centrifuge the blood, the plasma is 55%, the WBC and platelets are the near about 1%, and remaining 45% is the RBCs. So it is overall constituent of the blood. First we are going to see the composition of plasma. Water is 92% by weight of plasma. 92% is the water. Then plasma proteins, 6 to 9 grams per 100 ml of plasma. 6 to 9 grams are the plasma proteins, mainly albumin, globulin and fibrinogen. Out of that, albumin it is 60% of the total plasma protein, globulin it is 36% of the total plasma protein, and fibrinogen they are about 4% of the total plasma proteins. The enzymes are in traces: glucose 70 to 110 milligram per 100 ml, amino acids 33 to 51 milligram per 100 ml, lactic acid 6 to 16 milligram per 100 ml. Then other constituents of the plasma, including the lipids, total lipids 450 to 850 milligram per 100 ml, total lipids. Out of that, cholesterol it is 120 to 220 milligram per 100 ml, fatty acids 190 to 420 milligram per 100 ml. Then lipoproteins, they are either HDL, high density lipoprotein, and low density lipoproteins. High density lipoprotein range is normal range 30 to 80 milligram per 100 ml, and low density lipoprotein they are 62 to 185 milligram per 100 ml. Neutral fats, they mostly in the form of triglyceride, 40 to 150 milligram per 100 ml, and the phospholipid 6 to 12 milligram per 100 ml. Iron in the plasma, it is 50 to 150 milligram per 100 ml of plasma, and the vitamins, all vitamins are in traces. The other constituents of the plasma include the electrolytes. These are the electrolytes: sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, chloride, bicarbonate, phosphate and sulfate. Sodium 135 to 145, the potassium it is 3.5 to 5, then calcium, chloride, bicarbonates. Out of that, chlorides 90 to 106, these are the ranges. Then nitrogenous waste, they causes the different serious problems, severe problems in the physiology of person if they goes above normal or below normal above normal of the normal ranges. Ammonia 0.02 to 0.09 milligram per 100 ml, urea 8 to 25 milligram per 100 ml, creatine and creatine, creatine it is 0.2 to 0.8 milligram, while creatine in normal range is 0.6 to 1.5. It causes severe problem in many cases of the patients. Creatinine when goes more than 2, it create problem in the renal filtration and other things. Uric acid 1.5 to 8 milligram per 100 ml, bilirubin it is up to 1 milligram per 100 ml. Then other are the respiratory gases. These are the compositions of this is the composition of plasma. The plasma consists of water, protein, nutrient, hormones, etc. This part it is the plasma after centrifugation, and this part it is called as the hemocrit. the buffy coat in between this of the very thin layer, it is of white blood cell and platelets. They are less than 1% of the total blood. So it is the normal range, it is 37 to 47% hemocrit in the normal female, while in normal male it is 42 to 52% hemocrit in normal male. It is of the normal thing. While in anemia the hemocrit decreases, and while in polycythemia the hemocrit increases. The number of RBC are increased more in the blood, so blood become more viscous, it is polycythemia. Polycythemia it is also pronounced for the same. The other constituent of the blood called as the form element, erythrocyte, leukocyte, platelets are collectively called as the form element. Means RBC, WBC and platelets are collectively called as the form elements. The RBC means erythrocyte, WBC is leukocyte and thrombocyte means platelets are collectively called form elements. They constitute nearly 45% and 55% was the plasma. So plasma 55% and 45% are form element in the blood. So these are different cells or different form elements in the blood. You can see the WBC is basophil, eosinophil, neutrophil. These are called as the granulocyte. Their cytoplasm consists the granular structure, while in the monocyte and lymphocyte cytoplasm is clear without granules, so they are called the agranulocyte. So granulocyte, these three, basophil, eosinophil, neutrophil. Neutrophil are the most numerous in the WBCs of agranulocyte. So we are here concentrating on the erythrocytes after plasma. So erythrocytes are also called as the red blood cells or corpuscles. On an average 5 million to 5.5 million of RBCs per cubic millimeter of blood. So as they are very small, 7.5 micrometer in diameter, while 2 micrometer in thickness, they are biconcave in structure. Some characteristic: transport oxygen, biconcave disc, the anucleated in adult mature RBCs, they are anucleated. Hemoglobin, iron containing protein hemoglobin binds to oxygen. Lifespan is up to 120 days, 100 to 120 days. RBCs are formed in the red bone marrow, where they are formed, called the erythropoiesis. Mean RBC count in female it is 4.8 million per ml, in male 5.4 million per ml of blood. The hemoglobin count in female it is normal range is 12 to 16 grams per 100 ml, while in male hemoglobin normal count is 13 to 18 grams per 100 ml of the blood. The shape is flexible so that RBCs can pass through the smallest blood vessel, that is they can pass through the capillaries. Like amoeboid movement, the RBCs can pass through a small aperture or hole in the blood vessel, or they can go through the very small diameter capillaries, thin capillaries or single cell capillaries. They have a red color iron containing complex protein called the hemoglobin, hence the name is RBCs, red blood cells. A healthy individual has 12 to 16 gram of hemoglobin in every 100 ml of blood. We have already seen the ranges. So this is the structure of hemoglobin. This is alpha chain, this is another alpha chain, this is beta chain, this is another beta chain. Then there are 4 iron group connected with each subunit of the beta, alpha and beta chains. This iron containing or heme group combines with the oxygen. RBCs have an average lifespan is 120 days, after which they are destroyed in the spleen. So spleen is called as the graveyard of RBCs, where dead RBCs are destroyed and they are reused, their material is reused. It is called as the graveyard. The hemoglobin continue. This molecule plays a significant role in the transport of respiratory gases. RBCs have an average lifespan of 120 days, after which they are destroyed in the spleen, that is graveyard of the RBCs. So in the lungs, the red blood cell, the hemoglobin combines with the oxygen. It is bounded to the hemoglobin and carried to the tissue. So each hemoglobin binds with the 4 molecules of oxygen. Each hemoglobin consists 4 subunits. The globin means it consists 2 alpha and 2 beta chains or subunits. alpha or A chain, beta or B chains, 2 alpha chains, 2 beta chains. Each subunit binds a heme group, and each heme group carry heme groups 4, so carry 4 molecules of oxygen. Each heme group bears an atom of iron which binds reversibly with the 1 molecule of oxygen. So totally 4 molecule of oxygen carried by each hemoglobin molecule. So we have already seen this alpha chain, this is second alpha chain, first beta chain, second beta chain. These are heme groups or iron or Fe, and this combines with the oxygen. So 4 molecules of oxygen are bind with a single hemoglobin. Then the oxyhemoglobin, when the hemoglobin plus 4 molecule of oxygen, it is called the oxyhemoglobin. Then it looks bright red. Deoxyhemoglobin, when the hemoglobin is free of oxygen, it looks dark red. So bright red when oxygen plus hemoglobin, and dark red only hemoglobin without oxygen. Carbamino hemoglobin, 20% of the carbon dioxide in the blood binds to the globin part of hemoglobin, which is called as the carbamino. So we have already seen this. Then another terminology, carbon monoxide competes with the oxygen for heme binding, means ion binding with a much higher affinity. As oxygen binds with the ion or Fe, in the same way it is competed by the carbon monoxide. If carbon monoxide is more in the body, or it is in the body, it binds with the hemoglobin. So less oxygen is supplied when carbon monoxide. So carbon monoxide, it is dangerous pollutant for the, it competes with the oxygen. So when deoxygenated hemoglobin is more, then treated patients are with the hyperbaric oxygen chamber is given to them. The functions of erythrocytes: first important function, that is transport oxygen from the lungs to the tissue and carbon dioxide from tissue to lungs. Second important function, blood acts as a buffer, or erythrocyte acts as a buffer, means it maintains the pH of blood or entire body as blood circulate throughout the body. Then third function, it is function of plasma proteins. Albumin, it is first plasma protein, more numerous. The albumin maintain osmotic pressure by drawing water back into capillaries to help maintain body fluid levels. Then albumin transports smaller molecules such as hormones and ions. Then second one is the globulin, as a plasma protein, helps to protect against invade microbes by binding to foreign substances and transport hormones and fat soluble vitamins transportation. And third one is the fibrogen, as a plasma protein converted into fibrin, and fiber network is formed reticulum that form a blood clot. The blood cell entangle in that network and it form the blood clotting. This is fibrinogen, albumin and globulin. We are going to see blood clotting in the third video of the blood in detail. Then we are going to turn over the production of blood cells. The first thing is the hematopoiesis. It is the term hematopoiesis. Hematopoiesis refers to whole blood cell production. All cells are production of all blood cell, it is called the hematopoiesis. And erythropoiesis, the term refers to the production of red cells only. RBCs production, it is called the erythropoiesis. Erythrocyte means RBCs. Poiesis means formation. So formation of RBC, it is called the erythropoiesis, and formation of all cell, it is hematopoiesis. Actually these two things, stem cells, are same. We are going to see in detail. All blood cells including red and white are produced in red bone marrow. On an average 100 billion blood cells are made each day. So multipotential hemopoietic stem cells are present in red bone marrow. They transform into common myeloid progenitor. Then they transform into procryoblast, that is promoblast. Their size decreases consecutively and their nucleus become dense. The basophilic erythroblast is formed, then polychromatic erythroblast is formed, then orthochromatic erythroblast, it is commonly called as the normoblast. Then polychromatic erythroblast, which is called as the reticulocyte. Normoblast, then reticulocyte, it transform into the erythrocyte. The erythrocyte decreases in size, you can see, and the nucleus disappear at the when erythrocyte is formed. These are different stages of formation. The cells mature, the size, as cell mature, the size decreases. It is called as the hemoglobinization. Hemoglobinization, the cell decreases in size, nucleus disappearing, it is called as the hemoglobinization. The nucleus becomes small and dense. The blood doping injection of erythropoietin, it is a hormone, increase the oxygen carrying capacity of blood, but can cause to become too thick. Blood become too thick, may causes heart attack. As RBC age, they become less flexible. The 8 billion blood cells die each second. Each day about 230 billion RBCs are replaced. They are destroyed by fragmentation as they squeeze through the capillaries. Dead cell removed from blood and destroyed by macrophages in the spleen, liver and marrow, mostly in spleen. So spleen called as the graveyard of the RBCs. Spleen erythrocyte graveyard. Since RBCs have an especially hard time squeezing through its small channels, hemoglobin components are recycled after death and transported to the liver. Biliverdin, which is green, bilirubin, which is yellow to orange, and bile and iron is stored in liver and reused. So hematopoiesis, the red bone marrow is a network of reticular connective tissue that borders on the white blood capillaries called as the blood sinusoids. As hemocytoblasts mature, they migrate through the thin wall of sinusoid to enter the blood. We are going to see again in the next figure in detail. So here we can see in infants, in the bone marrow it is entirely red. Then in childhood some yellow bone marrow is formed. Then in adolescence very small remnants of the red bone marrow, and most part it is the yellow bone marrow. Then in adult red bone marrow it is very less, and mostly it is the yellow bone marrow. So you can see the spongy bone, then sutures, then trabecules in the bone, inner component. You see here the yellow bone marrow, this is the red bone marrow. So in this figure you can get the idea. This is the enlargement of red bone marrow. In the red bone marrow, this cell, it is the hematopoietic or stem cell present in the red bone marrow. This stem cell, it is become multipotent stem cell. The multipotent stem cell are directly found in the red bone marrow. Then when it is stimulated, it is divided either into lymphoid progenitor cell or myeloid progenitor cell. Lymphoid progenitor cell form T lymphocyte and B lymphocyte as well as killer cell, natural killer cell. The lymphocyte, so called the lymphoid progenitor cell, and other cell, that is myeloid progenitor cell, they form no doubt they form RBCs, red blood cell. We are already seen. They also form the neutrophil, basophil, eosinophil. They are the granulocyte, and the granulocyte T and B lymphocyte are formed by the lymphoid progenitor cell. Then other cell, they are the macrophages, platelets, the monocytes are formed here. So this is the formation of the RBCs. All of blood cells, including red and white, arise from the same stem cell. Their stem cell, hemopoietic stem cell, they are called the hemocytoblast. Hemocytoblast, they converted into prohemocytoblast, then erythroblast, normoblast, reticulocyte or reticuloblast, then erythrocyte. We already seen this cycle. Then they also form the platelets by megakaryoblast, megakaryocyte and platelets. They form the granulocyte by formation of myeloblast. They form neutrophil, eosinophil and basophil in the same way from myeloblast. Then from myeloblast directly RBCs are also formed from the myeloblast. The monoblast, they form the monocyte, T and B lymphocyte from the lymphoblast. In this way the blood cells are formed. So this is hemopoiesis. Erythropoiesis are produced throughout the whole life. It continues the whole life. Replacement of red blood cell. Feedback regulation of erythropoiesis or control of erythropoiesis. It is regulated by renal cells and oxygen content. Erythropoietin, it is name of hormone, it is glycoprotein hormone, is produced by the renal cell or kidney cells in response to decreased renal blood oxygen content. When there is less blood oxygen to the renal cell, they secrete the hormone erythropoietin. The erythropoietin stimulates the erythrocyte production in the red bone marrow. So this is the way. The hypoxemia means less oxygen, inadequate oxygen transport to the kidneys and liver, and there is secretion of hormone erythropoietin both renal cell and the hepatic cell. The stimulation of red bone marrow takes place. There is acceleration in erythropoiesis, more increase in the RBC count, RBC production, and there is increase in the O2 transport. When it is increased, then the secretion gets stopped. It is called as the feedback regulation. Secretion of the erythropoietin hormone stop. It is called as the feedback regulation. Feedback regulation of production of RBCs. A drop in renal blood oxygen level can result from reduced number of the red blood cell due to hemorrhages, loss of blood, excess of RBC destruction, reduced availability of the oxygen to the blood, as might occur in the high altitude or during the disease like pneumonia. Increased demand for the oxygen common in those who are engaged in the aerobic exercise. We already seen this. The dietary requirement for the erythropoiesis: iron, vitamin B12, folic acid, more important to women due to the loss of blood during menstruation. So life cycle we are going to see of the RBCs. The nutrients from intestine absorbed, that is amino acid, iron, folic acid, vitamin B12, they goes to the red bone marrow. Then erythrocyte are produced in red bone marrow, comes to the heart. Then there is circulation for 120 days. Then they dies, and death, after death they goes to the spleen or liver. In spleen and liver, expired erythrocyte breaks up in liver and spleen. The hemoglobin get degraded into heme part and globin part. The heme part gives the biliverdin, then converted to bilirubin and bile, and it goes to the fecal matter in process of digestion. Then iron, it is stored and reused. Lost by some injuries or in the menstruation in women's. The globin part, it is hydrolyzed to free amino acid. So in this way, there is life cycle of erythrocytes. There are some disorders. We are going to see 3 disorders. First one is the anemia. You already heard the word anemia. Anemia is the condition in which the blood has an abnormally low oxygen carrying capacity. It is called as the anemia. The blood has low oxygen carrying capacity. It is called as the anemia. A deficiency in either hemoglobin or in red blood cell decrease the oxygen transport to the tissue. The symptoms of anemia: the person or patient is pale, it lacks energy or less energy, physical weaknesses are there due to less oxygen, shortness of breath. There are different types of or kinds of the anemia. Hemorrhagic anemia, when there is blood loss or bleeding. Then hemolytic anemia, hemolysis of the RBCs, it is called the hemolytic anemia. It is due to some diseases, parasites, some drug reactions, or it may be genetic. Aplastic or cancerous anemia. Then iron deficiency anemia. Then pernicious anemia, means when there is deficiency or no vitamin B12, then it is called the pernicious anemia. So when anemia is there, number, you can see the decrease in the RBC, and this is the normal case of the anemia. So second disorder of the red cell, it is polycythemia. Poly means many, cyte means cell. When the too many red blood cells, it is called as the polycythemia, is an abnormal excess of the erythrocyte that increase the viscosity of the blood. Blood viscosity increases, causing it to sludge and sluggish cells. As viscosity increases, their rate of flow is decreased, it becomes sluggish. the 8 to 11 million per cubic millimeter of blood. The number increases too high, it is called the polycythemia. Hematocrit increases up to 80% viscosity. The common cause of polycythemia are causes bone marrow cancer, it is one cause. A response to the reduced availability of the oxygen, as at high altitude. At high altitude the oxygen availability is decreased, so it is one reason. Then overstimulation of the stem cells, means overproduction of the RBCs, prolonged physical activities, fluid loss, genetic factor also causes the anemia. Third thing we are going to see, that is abnormal hemoglobin. The anemia like symptoms appear in the same symptoms. The thalassemia, that is thin and delicate blood cells are formed, it is called the thalassemia. And sickle cell anemia, RBC are sickle shaped. Group of these two are the thalassemia and sickle cell anemia, the group of inherited disease that affect several million persons worldwide. You can see these are the sickle shaped RBCs and these are normal RBCs. The sickle shaped RBCs and the tributary, they entangle to each other and the part get blocked, this vessel get blocked, so blood supply is not to that part, it is called the sickle cell anemia. So when these two persons are only carrier, then also there one in the next generation one child it is with the sickle cell anemia, it may happen. So these are the reasons, or the to check it. Then increase your hemoglobin. Dietary requirement, that is iron, vitamin B12 and folic acid, more important. Women's lost the blood during menstruation. So 6 points are there. Eat iron rich food. The iron rich food include the liver, red meat, shrimps, tofu, green leafy vegetable, the nuts, dates, lentils, fortified breakfast cereals, oysters, asparagus, etc. The second thing, that is increase vitamin C intake, which include the papaya, oranges, lemon, strawberries, bell peppers, the grapefruit, tomatoes and spinach. The third thing, that is take folic acid, which include green leafy vegetable. Again, they are very important, green leafy vegetable in for many cases. Liver, rice, sprouted things, the dried beans, wheat germs, fortified cereals, peanuts, bananas, they can folic acid, beetroot, then blackstrap molasses with the unfiltered apple cider vinegar or honey may be there, pomegranates. These things definitely increase the level of hemoglobin to the normal. Avoid food containing the gluten. Consume more iron rich food after your menstrual period and during pregnancy for women. So these are the foods to boost the hemoglobin level. We already discussed this. So human blood components, products made for human blood and certain other material are treated and handled using precautions. It is called the universal precautions or UP approach. Universal precaution approach. The universal precaution approach, the precautions for the handling of blood, make full use of appropriate personal protective equipment PPE, then use gloves when handling blood, then use masks, safety goggles, face shields, etc. Then use of aprons, gowns, lab coats, coveralls, then hand the wash immediately after contact with the blood. So these are the universal precaution approaches when handling the blood. So this is about the first part of blood, that is plasma and red blood cell. In next lecture we are going to see the white blood cells, that is leukocyte and platelets. So thank you.